Right. For those that don't know who you are, can you just introduce yourself, tell us about yourself, and yeah, go for it.
Yeah, sure. So Wait For Me. That's my producer name, my DJ name. My actual name is Kirk. Been producing for a pretty long time. I first got into DJing probably 10, 11, maybe 12 years ago. And then after that, started producing, started trying to make music probably like a year or two after I started DJing.
Then you joined me in the January 2021. Do you remember the motivation for joining us on the course?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest motivation, honestly, I'll just be frank about it, was like I've been using data transmission, like your SoundCloud pages, and been engaging and taking in music from you all for years. Like just ever since. When did you guys start? When did like data transmission officially start?
2008. We were 15 in February.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So like I can imagine when I got into Gotta Dance Dirty, and those are like I was stumbling upon stuff coming from data transmission, right? And so just for like so long, I just used and gotten so much great music and so much great content from you all. I was like, whoa, like an opportunity to talk to the guy and, kind of communicate with the guy who runs this channel that I have a huge amount of respect for. That was like my initial motivation. And then I was like, oh, okay, but also I'll get all these like great pointers and tips out of it. So like, yeah, I think the main thing too, like that was the main reason why I was initially interested, right? And then out of it too, really kind of gaining some perspective on how to better send demos, how to basically put your best foot forward after you've spent all this time making the song, right? Now it's like getting it in front of eyeballs and ears and that sort of stuff. So yeah. And then everything that comes with it too, all the different strategies and social media and stuff. But yeah, the main thing was just like, I'd always just, you guys had given me so much over a lifetime of like listening to music. I was like, let me get in here and actually meet these people. I think that would be really cool.
That's cool. Oh, I didn't realize that. That's cool. Oh, yeah. That's cool, dude.
There's tons of stuff that I got from the course, but my main goal or my main driver was just like, hey, can I meet with these data transmission people once a week for, a couple of months here? That was the coolest part to me.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that. Since we started on the course, what have you got out of it? What have you implemented? What have you been using? What has kind of really helped you?
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing has been I've garnered like a ton, so much more momentum. I know you guys don't necessarily directly like help with the production aspect, but for some reason, after going through and getting that sort of stuff, and maybe it's a result from seeing a lot more activity on the music that I'm making and that I'm releasing. Perhaps that provides a lot more inspiration for me to keep going, for me to make music. So last year I finished more music than I've ever finished. This year I'm already like, I think last year I finished, I think between like 25 and 30 tracks. Already this year, I've already finished 20. Like wow. I'm just on an absolute tear. So like the momentum I've been able to get from that. And then two, like, I mean, the biggest thing, you can see it right on my SoundCloud too. When I started with you, I think I had like 100 followers on SoundCloud. And I know it's not like the best platform out there, but for me, it's really important to me. I like SoundCloud a lot because it's always been my kind of platform that I've used to find music and to stream music. And so I've gone from like 100 followers, I think, on that when I started with you to now I'm close to 2,100, right? So now I actually have like daily activity on that. And also like producers reaching out to me on there, sending music, downloading music, making connections, all that sort of stuff because of that. And so, yeah, I mean, there's been plenty of stuff I've gotten from Instagram. I'm still lagging behind on like other social media things, but I'm somebody who works really well on focus. And so when I started with Blueprint, I kind of basically set it my goal. I was like, I want to focus on one platform, really getting that going. And that was SoundCloud for me, again, for better or for worse, because SoundCloud's not the top platform when it comes to streaming. But I said, I just want to kind of give this my attention and my focus. And now looking at it, it's just like, yeah, I got a ton of activity from it. And now from like the different things that I've learned, I'm gaining followers through Instagram. and through Spotify and through other platforms because of like the strategy on SoundCloud. It's slow moving, but it's more organic. It's more like value driven, right? I have my download gates where if somebody wants to download a track, go follow me on Spotify, follow me on SoundCloud, write a comment, that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think probably I need to get like the Instagram content game up. But again, that's just like, that's going to take another alignment of focus. Maybe after a couple months of really just doing my thing on SoundCloud, let's say maybe when I get to 2,500 followers, I can say, okay, let me go and just focus on Instagram for the next 6 months, that sort of stuff.
That's cool. So, I mean, that last track got 12,000 plays.
What's that?
That last track got 12,000 plays, which is amazing.
Yeah, no, again, it's like that stuff is just that's happening now, because I got close to 2,100 followers on there, right? Back when it was, 100 or even 500, I would post a track and you'd be lucky to get like 100 or 200 plays. But now, because I have so much more activity on the page and things are happening, the music just gets pushed out to so many more people. You put a track like that out which you don't expect to get much from it activity wise. And then sometimes something just pops off, because the right person, maybe the right person finds it, they repost it and they have 50,000 followers. Right. And then all of a sudden, 20% of those 50,000 are now listening to your music. So yeah, the biggest thing, and that's what I wanted to really target, was just kind of like my SoundCloud, because that's always been my platform ever since I started.
Yeah, me too. I love SoundCloud.
I love it. It's just, even though it's buggy and funky and it has its great parts, it has its not so great parts, I still love it. It's where everything makes sense.
Yeah, I was looking at that track whilst we were listening to that last track. Sex Ed, it said 324 reposts, and I was looking through the reposts, and it's all really like track people, just you can see it's real people. It's real people that have got like 100 followers, 80 followers, 50 followers. Yeah. And because of that massive reposts, it's just got those thousands of plays, which is what you have to do with SoundCloud, which is amazing, which shows it works.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. And yeah, I'm glad that there's actual profile pictures and, a couple blue check mark people. It's like, okay, these aren't just, hey, nothing against Hype Edit, right? Because Hype Edit is a super powerful tool, and used properly, it's been able to get me a lot of where I am on SoundCloud. But sometimes that promote button that you can use on there, I just haven't necessarily seen. You get traction, you get plays, you get that sort of stuff, but. When you look at the profiles that are coming in, I imagine, Hype Edit isn't doing anything mischievous or whatever, right? But I think the way it gets pushed out might be just to a lot of kind of, not super active accounts or kind of just like spammy accounts, that sort of stuff. So, yeah, but, it is, when it is good to see when you look into that activity and be like, oh, that's a real person, versus, oh, it's just what does SoundCloud do? They just put like the name, if you don't have a profile picture, they just put like the first letter of your name and then like a color in the back. If you see a lot of those, you're like, it doesn't look like I'm getting actual real engagement from this,
Yeah, the one is also is when you get loads of plays, but there isn't reposts, or there isn't reposts, because the repost is really the driver of anything. Like the more reposts you get, the more reach you get. So if you've got loads of plays but no reposts, then there's definitely a gauge of like, are they real? Are they not? Are they?
Exactly.
When you've got hundreds of reposts, that's what's pushing the track, which is amazing.
Yeah, the comments have to come too, and the thing is too, like with comments, you can set up that as a download gate, right? I can't quite remember I think the major point I'm trying to make is if you have 50,000 plays and only 2 comments, it's pretty obvious what's going on.
Yeah, do you know? Also, people don't put the comments on when they're using Hyped It, and I always think having the comments.
Well, you have to pay for the premium.
Yeah,
So,
you get all the little squares along the wave, and if you when you're scrolling down at SoundCloud and you see a track and it's got all the little people's faces on the wave, especially when it says free download, you're like, all those people have commented. That means that all those people have downloaded it.
Yeah, these are tracks out there. Yeah,
yeah, and it's a visual thing.
Jumped through the hoops to make it happen.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be like, I've downloaded hundreds of tracks, thousands off of, and sometimes they've hyped out, it's made it a lot better. It's a lot of like one click and it's done now. But I remember back in the day when they were first still figuring things out, and sometimes people would set up like a multiple step gate.
Oh my God.
And there would be times where like I'm on like the 4th step and I'm like, better be after this step because I'm getting freaking annoyed. You know, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and it's like, now it's a lot easier, like they make it more of a 1-2 step. But yeah, but it means like if somebody goes through that, they're jumping through the hoops. They're taking a couple minutes to get through those hoops and to get to that track. So it's like, for me, that's actual engagement, and that means my track is in the iTunes or it's in the Tractor or in their record box, whatever it is.
If you could sum up working with us and the course, and would you recommend it to others?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, if you can put in the time and the investment dollars, definitely do it, because I think the biggest thing is, if you've been producer for a couple of years, you're definitely putting a tremendous amount of time and effort into making your music, right? And it's just like you spend days, months tweaking, adjusting, making songs, doing the best you can to be creative. And then for you to just like take that, hand it to a label that's not really going to do anything for you and get close to zero activity via social or Spotify or whatever, it just does like a total disservice to yourself. With your course, I was just, again, it wasn't every single piece I took and I was like, boom, let's go. And, I blew up on social media, but it was just a few different pieces that I was able to take and grow my fan base within a few different platforms. And I'm still growing that fan base. And now I see steady growth too. It's not like I get like little spurts, which used to happen where it was like I would get 100 plays here or 2 follows there or whatever it is. It's like every day I'm going into my platforms and I've gained this and I've gained that. It's like, it's just a steady slope of things going up. Right.
Wicked.
So yeah, if you want to just really learn, some strategy on how to get to that point where you're just seeing continuous increase in your exposure and in your growth, that's where you're going to be able to do it. And you can take any piece that you want, whether that's Instagram, whether that's SoundCloud, Spotify, Facebook, whatever piece you want to be able to grow in. That's one thing I was able to get from the course.
Wicked.